This rhythm row video is on 6/8 or 3/8 time signature, compound meter. Now what's really neat is that in this system I have designed the cherry wood, the dark pieces, to also be twice the size as the same actual rhythm note in the maple pieces. So you see the size of the quarter note in simple meter. In compound meter, it's twice the size. So it's 2 inches. So that means it's 2 beats in compound meter. And in simple meter, it's 1 inch, so it's 1 beat, which is really easy to teach because this way they really get it. You know, it's really easy to understand. So here in compound meter, we have the 8th note getting the beat. Look at the size of the 8th note in simple meter. Now look at the size of the 8th note in compound meter. Isn't that wonderful? So, here's a dotted half note in simple meter. Here's a dotted half note, whoops, wrong side, in compound meter. So 3 beats, it doubles in size. Oops, 6 beats. I think that's backwards. Yeah. Oops, okay. Anyway, and then we have also the dotted quarter note, and look at the size difference there too. That's also doubled in size, 1.5 beats and then 3 beats. Okay, even though they're backwards because the camera. Okay, never mind. I'm going to build 4 measures in 3/8 time signature. All right. Bar line. All right, and then dollar. So this one's going to be, there we go, bar line. Okay, I have 3/8 notes in the first measure, then I have 1/8 note, and then a quarter note in the second measure. And then in the third measure, I have 6 16th notes. In the fourth measure, the final measure, I have a quarter note and an 8th note. And so the 16th notes, here I have 4 16th notes, and that's 2 beats. So in my system, 2 16th notes in 1 beat is the same as in simple meter. Here are 2 notes in 1 beat, and in my system, when I have 2 notes in 1 beat, I count bouncing. So in compound meter, here are 2 notes in 1 beat, so I count bouncing for these. So these are bouncing, just as in simple meter, these are bouncing. So this is bouncing. The 8th note is bounce because, just as in simple meter, when there's 1 note in a beat, it's bounce. So this is now going to be bounce. We're going to say bounce for this. In simple meter, when we have a note that's 2 beats, it's bounce hold. So now our quarter note is going to be bounce hold because it's twice the value. That's what happens in compound meter. This is bounce hold now. And this is how I teach the kids how to count compound meter, and then they can see, oh yeah, it's twice the value. Okay, this is bounce hold now. Normally this is bounce, but now it's bounce hold. Okay, and then this is going to be 3 inches. Sometimes we measure with a ruler. If they're not sure, they get the ruler out. Say, how many inches? Oh yeah, 3 inches. 3 beats, okay? So this is the same length as this one. So that's bounce, hold, dot. Okay, so spend a little time going over how to count each of those rhythms in the compound meter. The teacher will be writing those rhythms in the book. Bring it to the piano. Follow the same procedure that we do in the first rhythm row video that I made. Right now I'm going to use the xylophone once again, and I'm going to turn the metronome on, and I'm going to do 60 instead of 50. And I'm just going to do each measure, sing the rhythm words, and then I'll say and then play them with the metronome. Bounce, 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 bounce. Next measure is bounce, bounce, hold. Bounce, bounce, hold. The next measure is bouncing, bouncing, bouncing. Next measure is bounce, hold, bounce. And the whole rhythm row goes like this. Bounce, 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 hold, bouncing, 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 bounce, hold, bounce. So that is that. Bye.